What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks, and we back in the building, you feel me? It's True Talks, cause True Talks, alright? Let's get straight right into it. So before I even start, talking about anything, I just want to start off just kind of like, just apologizing to people for, if whatever felt like a hiatus to some people and to a lot of people, that I've been gone for a little bit, for the past couple of weeks. And, just give my apologies, kind of just, do my due diligence and tell people just what happened. Obviously, for some of y'all that follow me, y'all know that obviously, me and my wife, my wife gave birth, and, we've been, that happened in December. So, you know how it comes with that, especially being our first child, it comes with the territory, a lot of work. So obviously, just finding a routine and stuff like that. And, I do the graveyard, I do the night shift. So, normally I record during those times, but, it's just been, finding the routine. And on top of that, when now man's is about to do videos and, get the context, obviously, boom, man's get hit with the Marion pause. Man's got COVID. You know what I'm saying? So man's got got COVID, and that was during the holidays. And obviously it was tough, especially dealing with that. The whole house, it trickled down, everybody got it, but God is good. We're obviously, I'm here today. So, thank God for that. Obviously, you just want to, count your blessings. So, when that happened, obviously I went down and, videos again stopped. And then even coming back after, taking a 14-day kind of quarantine, you still have, the symptoms, still coughing every second. It's still kind of hard to kind of record. So that's what mans have been dealing with. And that kind of trickled into the new year. And here we are today right now. So we back, we grooving. Obviously I'm not 100%, but, as quick as I was able to, just get some type of, some type of health going, then I was able to, just, let me get these videos out and talk to the people. And, obviously my fans that support me. And again, we grinding, so we got to grow even more. So it's not like I'm doing anything yet. So, appreciate y'all that kept in touch, or anybody that kind of, always, asking me questions, just, seeing what's up with your boy. Appreciate y'all. And even then, y'all that have been waiting for the videos and you're back like nothing has happened, I appreciate y'all as well. So we back, ready to go. You already know I'm hot and ready, more proper. I'm moving like hot spaghetti. Jewels, I'm about to drop them. You know what I'm saying? Let's go straight right into the context, because I give you that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. So again, even before I even get into the topic as well too, I just want to, obviously I've been gone for a minute. I still be, if you follow me, again, if you don't, go click the links below, follow my IG, and that's everyday type of context with highlights and kind of like just with clips talking about what's going on a daily, game to game, type of basis. Obviously, with whoever's snapping and going to work, and just context out there. You know what I'm saying? We growing. So again, follow my Twitter and my IG as well too. But, I've been seeing that it's kind of like, what I try to do is I try to kind of give, not hella in depth, even though it's hella in depth. So what I mean by that is like, if you wanna, like, if you're a hooper, like, people don't understand, like, behind the scenes that, like, especially with these NBA players, like, if you're ever in a coaching huddle, like, if they're actually to bring a mic and, like, how mans is mic'd up, they obviously edit the clips they want to show. But if they were to show you, like, what's going on in the actual huddle, you know what I'm saying, and the terminology that you have to understand, even, like, in film, when they watch film sessions, like, the terminology you have to understand. Like, me talking about pin downs, flare screens, curls, or whatever, that's the basic terminology. You know what I'm saying? If you get into the actual actions and, horse actions and all those type of stuff, and you get the actual real terminology that will confuse mans, and mans won't even know what's going on, right? That's what be happening in huddles. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the in-depth kind of like more advanced terminology, and just breakdown of everything kind of goes on on a day-to-day, game-to-game basis. I don't try to get fully into that as much. You know what I'm saying? I try to do like a more basic but in-depth version so the people can understand and kind of, get them into it. And obviously it's entertainment at the end of the day as well too. But at the end of the day, what do? I test and really breaking down, right? Showing people the lens that I kind of see the game at and the real lens to kind of see the game at. Cause again, it's the hooper's perspective, right? So that's why you see that I kind of don't really bring out those terminologies, but I also, you know, talk about, you know, the kind of like how man's is gap and what's kind of chain reaction. I highlight what's really going on in the advanced context and the advanced IQ of what's actually happening, right? How important Draymond really is, right? I'll talk about that way later, but you know how important Draymond really is, because the kind of things and the little things that he does that you don't really, the naked eye don't really see what's happening or transpiring on the court in real time, right? Even when they go back and watch, they still don't see that. And then on top of that, you couple it up with people who are not even really watching games. They're just looking at the stats and kind of like trying to use the stats to kind of solidify or even just, you know, kind of analyze or summarize what happened in the game. And you can't do that. It's supposed to be reversed. You watch the game, you see the eye test, you see what's going on, and then the stats kind of, you know, will justify or back up what you're actually seeing. Because when you just use the stats, you'll find that gray area where sometimes the stats, yes, the stats and the eye test match up, right? Sometimes it works like that. There's some times where it won't work like that. We're on the flip side, and you'll actually have it where the stats will say something and the eye test will show you a complete different game, and you won't even know what actually was transpiring. You won't even know that this guy was doubled the whole game. And yes, it looked like he played horrendous, but he was literally the reason why every other man got their shots and every other man was snapping, because the attention he drew. You won't see that on the stat sheet. You'll have to watch the game, or someone on the stat sheet is snapping, but they kind of got it off they just got 30 off cuts. You know what I'm saying? Because another man was drawing the attention. So the stats will be misleading if you just looked at the stats and didn't watch the game. So that's where I try to kind of like highlight things and kind of just, you know, do my due diligence in showing just the eye test and just talking about those type of things and focusing on it. And again, given that IQ, just that's what I do. So I just wanted to say that before I even start these videos, because I'm seeing a lot of Capology, a lot of Cappuccino, a lot of Captain America. I'm seeing a lot of Captain Underpants, whatever, Cap Tackler, whatever. I'm seeing a lot of Cap fam. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of Cap that's going on. So obviously, you know, me taking the hiatus, I didn't do a video really highlighting these things. A lot of the times you see me breaking, you know, debunking these narratives that is happening. And that's where I say it's Cap, right? And it's obviously, you know, you know how this goes. This is how it goes. And I talk about it a lot, but it's just, man, you're seeing a lot of fugazes. Like these are the same, it's perfect examples like the Westbrook situation, right? These are the same mans that go ahead and, oh my God, Westbrook was gonna, and then now when it's not happening properly, they're bashing Westbrook, not understanding play style clash. And you know what I mean? So before I even get into that, so I just wanted to just highlight, just explain to mans like, dog, this is what I be doing. And obviously, like, you know, you have to understand the game, man. The more you listen, the more you just read and react and just understand the read and react, you'll understand what's really happening and you'll react properly. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to read and react. You know what I'm saying? Not over talk when it's unnecessary and it doesn't make no sense. You understand what's cap in the media. You know what I mean? Your IQ just gain. So you understand and just watch the game with a different lens, and you understand the game is just beautiful when you watch the game with that kind of lens. You'll really see what's happening. So anyways, it's like kind of like watching a construction or like a house, or like, you know, those videos where they show something being built from scratch in the quick videos on IG or whatever, then you see it like fully done. It's stuff like that. It's like now you're listening to a construction man tell you what's really going on. You're going to get the real IQ context. The person who's in the field, and that perspective is always the real perspective, not the consumer perspective. So, you know, that's kind of just, I just wanted to, you know, talk about that real quick, but let's get into it. Let's go into that context, because I gave it that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. So you already know what we're going to talk about right now is obviously, you know, we're going to talk about the Raptors, right? The Raptors have been rolling as of late. They've won, what, 6 straight right now. That probably is the most winning streak for the season. You know, they were struggling in and out and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about the real reasons why the Raptors have started rolling, because I haven't been able to do breakdowns and stuff like that. So we're just going to get into the context, really talking about what's going on. It's not going to be hella in depth because I'm not showing clips and stuff like that. It's going to be an overall summary, kind of like, you know, just kind of summarizing what's mainly the reasons why the team is rolling right now, and you see them in what seed they at. Let's see real quick. I'm pretty sure they're the 7th, right? Yeah, they're the 7th seed, right? Above Charlotte, above Washington, above Boston, above New York, above Atlanta, above Indiana. That's elite right now. Cleveland's obviously above them, but at the 7th seed right now, at any time, you know, they're only what? 2 games. They're only 2 games above the 12th seed, 11th seed, right? So, you know, obviously it could fluctuate, but the fact that they're at this point from where they were is a great sign. And I always thought they were going to be in the plane, but you know, you never know what's going to happen. But now's the push you have to make. But again, let's understand and let's dive into why what you're seeing happening is happening, right? So first things first, obviously, you know, if you really have eyes and you really understand what's going on, the main reason why the Raptors are even at this point and been winning, if you really understand and what everybody's been talking about, is Fred, that boy Van Fleet. Fred Van Fleet. I know that I can eat. You get what I'm saying? That boy's been cooking. And, you know, I've talked about this from before. I was been said this is why they gave him the bag, because I always told people when they're like, oh my God, you shouldn't give Van Fleet the bag. I told people, like, listen, the Fred Van Vliet you saw with Lowry is not the Fred Van Vliet you're going to see without Lowry. And that's what I said. They're paying for that point guard, for that established guy, even though he's not established, but he's established, but he could still have room to grow. So that's a perfect scenario. You're not getting a point guard that is like let's say like a Dennis Smith Jr. I don't want to, you know, shit on Dennis Smith or anything like that, but you're not getting a point guard that hasn't really done that much, but he's looking for a new situation, and then you're betting on him being that guy and just skyrocketing. Kind of like when they got Lowry, right? That's what they were betting on, and it worked out. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. You know, it does. So it's not one of those situations. It's a guy who's been solidified in his role, you know, and has been improving in his role as like the secondary ball handler, obviously, and then now increased to where him literally share probably equally with Lowry and stuff like that. He's been increasing in his role. Started off coming off the bench as a 6-man PG, and then you know what I mean, increased to like a starter, share with Lowry PG, and he's been increasing in his role, but still he's been in that role. So when you look at it, and even winning a ring, hitting clutch shots, stuff like that, he's been solidified, but not solidified as an all-star point guard. He's been solidified as that in that role of the point guard that he's been, right? So he still has room to increase, and that's what people keep forgetting. They think that the Van Fleet they've been seeing, oh my God, why are you going to pay for that? For that type of output. The output's only going to increase when you remove Lowry and you increase this guy. He's only going to get deeper in his bag. He's only going to have more of a usage rate. He's finally able to run the PG and be the sole PG out there, you know, with a lineup with the OG, the Pat, or the Scotty, whatever. Obviously, you know, Scotty ball handle, Pascal ball handle too. But I'm talking about just the PG, like he's not sharing it with Lowry. That dynamic already cut him in half in his output. And he still was averaging 18 and killing. So, you know, you got to look at it now. You give me it's me. Look at it from 18 PPG or whatever it is automatically to 22, right? So he's been snapping, especially as of late. And that's why I'm like, people can't foresee what something's going to be they can only see what they saw. Same thing with Harden and Houston. Oh my God, he can't play with Brooklyn. You know, that's not going to work. There's only one ball. Not seeing that the Harden in Houston and the Harden in Brooklyn is going to be 2 different Hardens, even though it's still similar. It's 2 different ones, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, mans can't foresee, oh my God, Westbrook, if you just take triple-double Westbrook, you drop him with the Lakers, oh my goodness, the Westbrook you saw is not going to be the Westbrook you see with the Lakers. Everything is situational. Individually, team-wise, like, that's how this league goes, and that's how basketball works. It's situational. If I'm elite at this and I'm been the main guy here, but you put me in a situation with another main guy, and especially if his play style affects me, my usage is going to drop down. There's only so much I could do. My numbers, like the guy you saw me as, is not going to be the same guy over here. And that's kind of like the fans and a lot of people, you know, they just don't understand these things. So they have to wait till they're going to be late to the party. They're going to now, Van Fleet is, oh my God, Van Fleet, like they're late to the party all the time because they can't foresee things and it's just there. It's proof is in the pudding. If you know basketball, you can see, okay, I envisioned did it. That's how coaches do their rotations. I envision did it. That's that basketball mind is working, right? And that's what people don't have. So when you look at it from that perspective, you know, Van Fleet now, you can see he's clearly an all-star PG. If the Raptors keep this 7-6 seed and you keep it in the standings, he's definitely going to be in as a coach, you know, a coach reserve, because again, if you're in the playoff race, majority of the times you get at least one all-star. Sometimes, you know, if other teams have bare all-star, you don't. But in this situation, for the way he's been snapping, and especially as of late, the perfect timing for him to snap. Normally when it's like, what have you done lately, right? When you snap at the right time going into all-star break, it always helps your case going into all-star break. So VanVleet should be a starter this year. If he doesn't, it's going to be a lot of uproar from, you know, you already know how Toronto rides for theirs, but even a lot of people around the league have been seeing what VanVleet's been doing. And that's just numbers wise, right? When you just look at it from an outside looking in. But now when you dive into really what's happening and you dive into the ability improvement, that's another tier that we got to look at. That's another advanced IQ, just looking at it, because that opens up for other people and it opens up, you know, it's a chain reaction. That's why when VanVleet, there's no coincidence why VanVleet comes back versus the Clippers, right? You know, after the new year, and they go 6 straight. VanVleet wasn't playing in some of these games prior and they were losing, right? He lost to the Sixers. They were losing, right? They don't have their VanVleet ball handler, but not just their ball handler. That shot creating bag that he's now developed and he's now actually using is something. That's why I always say shot creators they're everything in basketball. Those guys, they dictate so much. One, they're so elite, or they're scoring one-on-one. So now in certain gaps, certain areas, you're fearful of their ability, that you overcommit to stop that. That now opens up other things and makes it easier for open up for other people. So this shot creator might only average 4 assists, but he's technically responsible for so much, because that guy that hit in the corner was only because he got doubled on his pull-up, right? That now he passed to the guy cut in, that guy rotated and he hit to the corner, right? That guy only got his corner shot as a catch and shoot guy. He didn't create nothing. He's just standing there. You know what I'm saying? It's because of this guy's initial, you know, just his aura and the fact that his ability possesses you to double team in that era, because he's been potent right now. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is what people don't, it's not going to show on the stat sheet. You have to have the awareness and the IQ to understand this. So VanVleet isn't just scoring. He's scoring with ability. You know, he's not just running into the paint because then they'll sag off so that now you can cut off. He's not doing that. He's coming off screen. Even when he comes off screens, before he wouldn't pull. He used to just shoot the 3 and then go to the paint. Now he's pulling in the gaps, which is what I've been asking from time. If you've been following me, you know I said, VanVleet, you have to advance your game. If you want to be an all-star point guard, the Kembas and like all of them, and you want to average individually, advance your game to that level. And in order to do that, the weakness of VanVleet has always been, I just run into the paint to do layups and I shoot threes, and a lot of it is catch and shoot. I don't pull in the gap. I'm wasting opportunities. Now you see him pulling in the gap off screens, pulling in the gap. And then on top of that, I've been saying mid-range, add that to your bag. There's gaps all over the place. You add that, that's 10 points in the mid-range per game. That's going to increase your shot creating. Now you're going to get other things off of that. Now that big has to step up, then you hesitate blow by, you get to the paint. Like, everything opens up. Be a 3-level scorer. That's when you become that much dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at it from that perspective, VanVleet has added that. And I know, you know, as a individual hooper, when you look to advance your game and you have your trainer with you, and even just you watching your game and watching back film, you're like, God damn, I got to shoot that. God damn, you now go to your trainer like, yo, I need to improve on this ability. And then you work on it in the off season and boom, here it is. So VanVleet's clearly been doing that, right? The proof is obviously in the pudding. Not on top of that, Lowry being gone and him having the ball more and controlling the tempo, controlling the pace. He can make those decisions, and he has the luxury now to kind of like, oh, if I miss it, I miss it. As opposed to when you're off ball a little bit, if you miss certain shots, it's like, I might not get it for a minute, right? So now that you're ball handling, you dictate, you shoot what you want. It don't matter. You play more free for all. So you add that, man, this is just opened up the Raptors, right? You can clearly see it. Then not only that, you adding up the escape dribbles he's been having in his bag and the one-on-one ability, even just the twinkle toe step backs in transition. Like, he's just been killing, like, and you can see his bag is more deeper. So when you look at that, that in itself has been the main reason, not Pascal, not Scotty, not Gary Trent, that has been the main reason, right? Not even OG. Obviously, you know, there's other reasons, but that's the main reason. That VanVleet has been the main reason. If you really understand, right? Even just look versus the Pelicans, that whole stretch, he scored 3 straight threes, and him turning up like that. And then that's why, and not only that, it's another chain reaction, because they're playing a lineup sometimes of Kem Birch. They're playing a lineup with 3 non-shooters sometimes. Kem Birch, Pascal, Scotty, right? Sometimes of Precious, Pascal, Scotty. Precious, Boucher. Well, Boucher could shoot, but, you know, still like Biggs type of, you have Boucher, Precious, and Pascal. Like, you're having 3 non-shooters kind of in the game. Kem Birch, like you're rotating that. That should be atrocious. But a lot of the times, because of Van Vliet's ability, even you add sometimes Trent's ability, you add OG's ability, but mainly Van Vliet's ability, it forces double. So now you drop to Kem, who's cut in. Then even though they're close in the paint, if you look at it, go look. There's a lot of times there's no space, and even on these layups, there's 2-3 guys in the paint. But there's so much to worry about because the initial guy you have to focus on, that now it's not as bad. Even though they're learning to have to eat with no spacing and have spacing within no spacing. If you understand what I'm saying, right? Because ideally or technically, it shouldn't be working, right? Now versus good teams, that's why you will see some struggles, because part of the reason why, again, the Raptors have been rolling is they've been fortunate enough with getting a couple of bad teams, right? And a lot of injuries to the good teams that they're beating, because like the one with the Bucks, there's no Giannis. The Clippers, there's no Kawhi, no PG, right? Obviously, some other teams have been losing to them, so it's not like I'm kind of just dismissing the 6-game win streak. I'm not, but I'm dissecting the reasons as to why, as a collective, this is happening. So obviously, number one reason is Van Vliet. You still got a reason, like another reason, is obviously that they're not facing, the teams that they're facing have been banged up, basically, right? So they're getting fortunate with that. You add another component that you add to that is that the Raptors being at home, there's no fans. So, it's not, the pressure of sometimes when you're home and the fans gasping, oh, what's going on? Boo. Well, they don't really boo, but, kind of that pressure of you have to feed off the energy. Now, it does help. It's a benefit, but sometimes it's a negative. The opposing team is always going to come, they're going to come trying to wreak havoc. Obviously, the fans having energy will kind of make it nervous for the away team sometimes, but sometimes if they're rolling and they're hot and they're killing, then it puts more pressure on the home team to come back and to win. They're kind of silent on your shots. You're like, what's going on here? Wow. Well, you hear the gaps, you can hear a pin drop sometimes, and that affects the players on the floor, right? You get more nerves. So that component is a race, whether it's a positive or a negative. It's just empty gym. So some guys can play more free for all, stuff like that. That's a component, but not big of a component, because at this point, it's not, it affects, but when you look at it from that perspective, you can understand that these are just the things that are compiled up together of why the Raptors are on this 6-game win streak. And then you add also another component. Pascal has been playing pretty solid. He's been pretty good as of late. You know what I mean? His bag hasn't really changed, right? His bag hasn't really changed, but again, the dynamic of just him scoring, him pushing the tempo, and the Raptors as a whole. The Raptors have been pushing the tempo lately, playing better defense, and that's been why they've also been beating these teams and having the 6-game winning streak. Is the tempo has increased and their defense has increased, and a lot of it is due to health, right? That's another component. OG came back, Van Vliet came back, Kem Birch came back, Precious came back. Like a lot of these guys came back, right? So, Scotty came back. He kind of missed the 1-2, but then came back, right? Gary Trent been there, came back. Like a lot of these guys are now, they're fully healthy and they're finally fully integrated where now they could play together. So now you have lineup with OG, Pascal, Van Vliet, Gary Trent, Scotty. Like your defense is there. You have length, right? You have Kem Birch in the middle. Like, so team wise, health has been a lot of it too, as well. Another component to this, winning streak as well. And then back to Pascal. Pascal has been playing great, and he not hella great, but he's been playing solid, very solid. Some games he's been playing great, right? And you look at it and it's like, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. As much as I've been, I guess a naysayer, or people say I hate on Pascal. When I just tell you the truth, I just react to what I see. You know what I'm saying? And just how the film tells me everything. Not nobody, no words, no nothing. It's the film. You watch the film, and if you have the trained eye, you're going to understand what's happening. You're just going to call it like it is, right? Because you can't cappuccino. You can't lie, if you really are authentic to the game, right? You can't lie. That's the number one thing of authenticity is you don't cap. No cappuccino. It's not in you. You know that if you know the truth, you can't lie otherwise, just for views and stuff like that. You can't do that if you're really authentic, right? So that's me. I'm authentic to the game and just being a hooper. I'm not going to lie to what I see. Like, I see what I see. So anyways, Pascal's been eating as of late, and a lot of it, transition, stuff like that. And even with the no spacing, he's been shooting pretty good from 3, sometimes 3 for 5, sometimes 2 for 2, sometimes 1 for 2. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that as of late in these last 6 games. And, the spacing for the Raptors, I still will say, hasn't been the greatest. Again, like, you're going to play greater teams, and that spacing is going to affect you. And they have droughts where the spacing affects them as well too within these wins. But again, Van Vliet makes them overcome it. Pascal again in transition makes them overcome it. And, you know, he's been shooting a little better as well too. So they're hitting the groove. They're hitting you know, again, Van Vliet's plays being contagious as well. You look at that and it's just, you know, the one person who has the only negative in this win streak that has been happening has been, again, Scottie has looked like a Draymond. And again, people are like, oh my God, you keep bringing up this Draymond. And I bring it up often because, again, it's just to prove when people have no IQ and they come for you. And it's not even about coming from you. It's just about, I want to teach people the game. That's what my passion is. Teaching people IQ. It's not saying I have the best IQ in the world and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I can miss a 1-2 and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like if man's hoop, man's really notice, right? So I put man's on notice, right? You know what I'm saying? The bars never end. You know what I'm saying? So like when you look at it, like, man, you just watch the film, the trained eye, just see what's happening. So, you know, I could foresee. I looked at Scottie's game in college, right? And then when they drafted him, I knew Pascal is there. That's a play style clash. I know Ken Burch. I know they don't have shooting bigs and stuff like that, like a Christian would. So that's another play style clash. So when I look at it, Scottie is going to look like a Draymond. He's going to be forced to look like that, where he's going to play make. He's going to, you know, some games he has 10, some games he has 11, some games he has 15, but he's going to flirt with triple doubles. He's going to impact the game in different ways, but like scoring is not going to be mainly it. Now let's dissect Scottie, because this is the only one negative in this 6-game win streak that you see that's happening. And I said that when they're healthy, it always affects Scottie negatively. When one guy, main guy is missing, when OG is missing, or when Pascal is missing, or when Van Vliet is missing, Scottie improves individually and it helps him. And that's what I was trying to tell people. When he first came in and first started as a rookie with Pascal missing, Scottie was in a perfect situation individually. So the Scottie people saw, they thought, oh my God, see the drafting, that's why we did this. But not understanding, that's not going to be realistic. That's not a situation he's going to be living in. When Pascal is back, when all the main guys is back, that's what he's going to be living in. That's going to be the everyday basis. What Scottie you're going to get in that situation? That's a Draymond Scottie. Let's really look, because people want to, you know, they just want to be talking. So let's really look. That's where the education comes back. He comes back. Let's look at the last 6 games, a 6-game winning streak. You know what I'm saying? Let's really look at it. This is dissected. Comes back versus the Knicks. Well, he has a 5-game winning streak with the Raptors because he missed the Clippers game, right? That's where the winning streak started. He came back versus the Knicks. What happened? 13 points, 4 for 9, only 9 attempts, right? 13 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Or sorry, 0 assists, 4 rebounds. Okay. The next game, what happens? Versus Spurs, 11 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds. That don't look like Draymond? 4 for 7. Now what happens the next game versus the Bucks? 6 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 for 6. That don't look like Draymond? Okay, let's go look at the next versus the Utah Jazz. What happens? 11 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds, 5 for 14. Now 14 shots, he shot more. But again, 11, 9, and 6. That don't look like Draymond? Okay, let's go look at something else. Now versus the Pelicans. 3 for 10, right? 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. That don't look like that's what I'm talking. I'm like, dog, what are y'all talking about? What are y'all really talking about? He can't go to work because the spacing don't allow him to. He's forced to be a Draymond. And that's why I'm like, dog, I could foresee, unless now you draft this guy and you're like, you know what? I'm going to move Pascal. I'm going to get rid of him. And Scottie's going to replace the Pascal. Then that pick is justified. And that pick is like, okay, I can see. But at the time, right now, with the team roster that team needs, that's not, you know what I mean? Pascal's already there. You're getting a guy in the same redundant play style. You're getting a Draymond who's not really at the peak of a Draymond where he's impacting OD, defensively, not getting in foul trouble. Like, you know what I mean? It's a rookie Draymond. So it's like, that's not necessarily what you needed. It isn't. Which is why his impact hasn't been like, you know what I mean? It's like he's been playing overall in the season. Yes, you look at his numbers. It's a great rookie season, but context. A lot of his best games have been with guys at the beginning when guys were injured, especially Pascal. Now when Pascal's been back, his averages and even other guys, now you add the Kembridge, now you add the Precious, his averages have literally dropped OD and he's been looking more like Draymond. And that's where now it's like, okay, it's kind of like a quarter of it has been like with these guys healthy, and then majority of his stats have been, you know, without those guys. So now his overall has been this, but you're not going to really understand that before he was averaging 18 without these guys. Then now once they come back, he's dropped all the way to 14 for the season. So like you have to dissect these things. And that's why I try to really talk about and really try to highlight people. When people don't understand and they get at me and they just, you know what I mean? And obviously getting at me, I don't really care, because at the end of the day, the game is the game. The truth is the truth. Y'all will come around, and that's what happens a lot of the time. Okay, Banks, you were right. Whatever. But even then, it's not about me being right. It's about what is right. Not about me being right. I just happen to be a nigga that's highlighted it. You know what I'm saying? It's about what is right. So when you look at it from that perspective, man, like I just want to focus on that too, because again, we see a lot of the reasons why the Raptors have started steamrolling, but individually, people aren't you don't see no one talking about Scottie right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Obviously, other than the Raptors fan base, but the way they were talking about him before and now are two different. They're not the same. So when you look at it, I have to highlight and find out why. Why is it like that? And like I've been saying, and like I've been trying to tell people from time, this is what it was coming down to. So, you know, it is what it is. But again, the Raptors are in a great situation right now. They've won 6. So them winning 6, obviously now it's like, okay, you know what? Let's really see. Can Raptors maximize this? Can they go on a 10-game win streak? Can they push it to 10? Can they flip the script completely? Now they're in the, you know, 4 to 7 range. Or are they going to just stay in the 7 to 10 range playing? Like, now's the time to make that push and capitalize on what they've been already capitalizing on, right? So, you know, we'll see how everything transpires, you know. Obviously, we're going to still do the breakdowns, you know, and stuff like that here and there. I'm going to try and do more talking videos as much because, again, every time I do a breakdown video, it's copyright. So I'm trying to, you know, do it here and there, but also, you know, mainly kind of just be talking to mans and explaining and getting down to that, right? So again, you know, you already know, I appreciate y'all's true talks, because true talks. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? I'm back, ready to roll. We grooving, you know what I'm saying? We ready, fam. Come for that IQ, because that's what I do. Spread the word. Again, click the links below. Follow my social media platforms. You know, follow everything, and we out here, we grooving, and, you know, spread the word. That's the main thing. Spread the word. Share this stuff to people. Share the shit, you know what I'm saying? Let mans click on it, watch it. Okay, here's an IQ, man. We diving into some stuff, you know what I'm saying? And let's, you know, we go from there. But again, I appreciate y'all. You already know. Again, spread the word. Do all of that, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for coming for that IQ, like I said. And just tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate y'all. You already know. Again, this is what elite looks like. And I'm out, man.